Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sharina. First, I'm starting off with using Too Faced Hangover Face Primer as a moisturizer. Then for more of a mattifying primer, I'm using BECCA primer. And to conceal any fine lines around my smiling area and underneath my eyes, I'm using Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And I'm using MAC Painterly Paint Pot just to prime my eyelids. And going in with a finger just to blend everything out. To set the primer, I'm using Laura Mercier face powder. I'm using Tarteist PRO. The first color I'm using is Bold, which is more of a neutral brown transition color. To deepen up the crease, I'm using Edgy, which is a dark brown color, and I'm just keeping it from the outer corner and halfway in. Well, actually, I'm taking it all the way in. And to go over that bold eyeshadow, I'm using Whimsy, which is a more of a reddish brown eyeshadow color. I'm using Urban Decay palette. First color I'm using is a more of a silver metallic, and that's Glam Rock. To give me more of a metallic finish, I'm using Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. And this color is more of a white silver eyeshadow. I'm using Aluminum, which is more of a medium gray tone eyeshadow, which is silver. And for the third color, I'm using Ground, which is more of a gunmetal silver eyeshadow. And I'm taking it only in the outer corner V. With these three colors, you definitely want to make sure the colors are blending evenly. Taking a clean brush just to remove any harsh lines. For eyeliner, I'm using Hard Candy Liquid Black. And you just want to take your time when you trying to do a wing eyeliner look. It's best to use baby strokes. And for the inner corner eyeshadow, I'm using Acoustic and Maiden. Acoustic is more of a gold silver eyeshadow, and Maiden is more of a champagne eyeshadow. To conceal any dark circles, I'm using LA Girl Pro Conceal and Orange Corrector. To cover my blemish, I'm using MAC Studio Finish Concealer in NW45, which is close to my skin tone. And just taking a beauty blender, just blending out the concealer. For foundation, I'm using a more full coverage Hourglass in Golden Almond. And I decided to use the Tarte Kabuki brush and fast forward this process due to the fact that my foundation routine is pretty much the same. For concealer, I'm using, for contour, I'm using FENTY Beauty and Espresso. For concealer, I'm using NARS Creamiest Radius in Caramel. The one thing I do like about this concealer, again, due to the fact that I live in the state of Texas, our weather here is pretty much bipolar. Right now it's cold, so I prefer to use a more of a moisturizing concealer versus a mattified concealer. And the reason why, because I don't want the dryness underneath my eyes. And I'm just taking a beauty blender, just blending out the concealer. And for setting powder, I'm using Laura Mercier. And I'm just taking a beauty blender, just pushing that setting powder into my skin and then dusting off the remainder. I find using a beauty blender to press in the setting powder is less drying underneath my eyes versus allowing the face powder to, or the setting powder to sit and bake. And just taking a brush. For face powder, I'm using MAC Loose Face Powder in Deep Dark. And to bronze up my face, I'm using Makeup Forever Pro Bronze Fusion, which is in 35i, I believe. All the products that I'm using today will be listed down below in the description bar. For contour, I'm using MAC Blush in Blunt. And to remove any harsh lines from the contour, I'm just using a clean face brush. For blush, I'm using MAC Coppertone brush, which is more of a neutral tone. For highlight, I'm using Bobbi Brown, and it's called Bobbi to Glow Highlighter Trio. And I'm taking two colors, the Nectar Glow and Golden Bronze Glow. One thing I do notice about Bobbi Brown highlighters that it's more of a subtle highlighter versus in your face highlighter. To line my lower eye area, I'm using Tarte Black eyeliner and taking a black eyeshadow, just smudging it in with a pencil brush. And I'm just repeating the step and putting Glam Rock from the Urban Decay palette underneath my eyes. For mascara, using MAC Extended Play mascara. And I'm using wispy eyelashes. For lip liner, I'm using MAC Cork, which is a light brown lip pencil. For lipstick, I'm using MAC Cherish, which is a light brown nude lipstick. And for a top, I'm using HUDA Beauty Ritzy. To set everything in place, I'm using Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray.